The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi guys, so again, I want to welcome you to Ace and Rich Live. My name is Rich Guzman.
My name is Ace Guzman.
And what we're doing here today, we're talking about like the income blockers that hold you back in your business. Find out what's keeping you stuck and, the reason why people don't make a lot of money online.
Yes,
okay?
yes, absolutely.
So let's get started. We're going to go over, the income blocker number one, and we're going to get into it more about the comfort zone, okay? That comfort zone is all about finding out what signs you can tell when you're being trapped, right?
Right.
When you get trapped in that, you can't break through that ceiling, you feel trapped and everything.
Right.
Also, you're consistent, you're doing something, but the income is still kind of low.
That's how you know something's off, right?
Something is off.
This is
Yeah.
part of the signs that you're starting to see things like appear in your business and starting to affect you, like the consistency, but your commissions are like really, really low. You're nowhere near even $50 a month. I mean, that's really not good, right?
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. And also, again, we talked about this a little earlier, you didn't hear this, but the comfortability, being comfortable, because as humans, we love to be comfortable, right? So we don't want to break from that comfort zone, all right? And what happens is we're afraid to change, right? To get uncomfortable, to experience more and a lot greater success, okay?
Right.
So unfortunately, it happens quite a bit with a lot of people when they try to break through that ceiling and try to earn a lot of money online. So they get trapped, they get stuck, and used to making that certain amount of income. And it could be $100, guys. It could be $500. It could be $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month. The amount doesn't matter. Whatever you're making, and even if you're making nothing, you got to find out why, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you're not willing to change in order for you to break that barrier to actually earn that income that you really truly want and you deserve. Okay.
Yes,
Now,
absolutely.
So I'm going to tell you, don't be afraid of changing. Don't be afraid. Again, what I was talking about earlier about creating content, for example. Most people are not willing to go through a challenge. Most people are not willing to go through that, being uncomfortable for a long period of time. So they become that person that they're not even going to recognize because they're going to be transforming in the process. So the ones that are willing to go through that change, for an example, are the ones that are going to reap the benefits.
True. Yes.
The ones that don't go through that challenge, don't go through that change, right? They're going to stay stuck and wonder why nothing has transformed.
Yes.
So if you're earning no money, okay, find out why you didn't want to go through the challenge.
I mean, really
right?
find out why.
Why don't you want to go through that challenge?
Exactly.
Like I said, people that are doing it are reaping the benefits. The ones that are not doing it are not getting the results. Okay? Very, very important. So let's talk about like our Motel 6, for example. Remember Motel 6?
With Motel 6, we go back to our story. We had no choice but to grow. Because if you think about it, if we would have stayed and just stayed complacent in that situation, be like, okay, you know what? We'll just live here and see what develops after that. We'll try to get like some, general assistance or something and just live like this for a long time, until we figure out what jobs we're going to get. I mean, those are your options. And you know what? That wasn't for us. We were looking for something bigger and we wanted to have better and we wanted to control more of our cash flow and also focus more on our investments and do something better, not just for each other as we get older, but also for our child, because we did have a child in the situation, right?
Absolutely.
And so when we thought about the Motel 6, we were like, there's no other choice. We got to get uncomfortable. And being uncomfortable was that choice because we had no other option.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't want to stay where we are because if we did, then nothing would ever change. You wouldn't hear about our story today. And that was part of the process that we were afraid of. Don't get me wrong. We were afraid. But at the same time, comfort wasn't an option. And we were forced to develop a bigger thinking pattern. We had to think big. You know, you ever read that book and they said, think big? You got to think big. If you want something better in your life, you have to think big. So our dreams, our goals couldn't be surface level. We had to think so big that our dreams and our goals scared the hell out of us.
Even when we didn't feel like doing something, we
Yes.
stayed uncomfortable and we still did it, right?
Yes.
And we can go back to the blogging days,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Creating content, and we didn't even know what was going to happen. And then we got rewarded for being one of the top blogs in the niche,
Yes.
which
Yes.
was really cool. That was really nice.
Absolutely.
And we didn't expect that, so that was pretty cool.
And we knew what we needed at the moment because we said in order for things to change, we have to get in a better environment and a better situation so we can focus.
Yeah.
Because obviously the internet was crappy at the Motel
It was
6.
horrible.
There was no way
Oh my God.
we could use the internet, but we
Yeah.
still forced ourselves to do it because
Well, we went to the lobby to
necessity.
get closer to the router.
Yeah, necessity drove innovation. So we got creative. We, use free Wi-Fi when we could. We'd go to McDonald's and just jump inside, McDonald's from time to time, bring our laptop because he had one laptop. Unfortunately, it got stolen, but at the time
Yeah.
it was his laptop, and I think it was a Mac, right?
It's a MacBook Pro.
It was a MacBook Pro. We had it, and we used it. We used it to our advantage. So every single time we would go up, and we would just say, to the McDonald's server, hey, can we use your Wi-Fi? We got to do some work. And they said, sure. And they gave us their password, and we would just go into McDonald's and use the Wi-Fi. Same thing. Whatever stores or restaurants were nearby and they had free Wi-Fi for customers,
Barnes and Noble too.
Barnes and Noble,
Yeah.
we went to Barnes and Noble, we used it. And we never made excuses. We literally made it happen. And then times when we needed to have like Skype calls and certain meetings, you need stronger internet. Thank God for Rich's skill sets. Like he knew from his job working at Best Buy, he knew how to get signal. And we would be in the parking lot,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Be in the parking lot getting signal. Like we got innovative.
And you know what? People talk about life success and
Yeah.
being free and being an entrepreneur, but
Mhm.
on our way to this world, I was so grateful to have a job at that time. That's why I never downed my job or anything. I respected it.
No.
I wanted to do the best I can.
Yes.
So I continue to get uncomfortable for myself
Mhm.
to be better at whatever I try to do.
Yes.
Didn't matter if it was entrepreneurship, wasn't at the job. I knew that my mindset had to shift and get uncomfortable and excel. So not only did we start making sales, in the Motel 6 situation, but we also, like myself, I was making the most sales in the company in Best Buy. So that was something really profound that happened.
Yeah, you became an invaluable employee
The
that
whole-
they
yeah,
didn't
the
want.
whole-
That they
the-
didn't even want to fire.
Yeah, the whole region of Best Buy.
Yes.
I was like number one, right?
Yes.
Not the state, the whole region
No.
of Best Buy.
Yes.
So that was really amazing.
You know,
But
Jim Rohn talked about that, becoming invaluable at your job, so that way you're so damn good at your job that it'd be hard to fire you.
well, don't forget, I was been studying Jim Rohn for so many years, so
Uh-huh.
my mindset definitely shifted.
It helped.
But the coaching also helped with
Yes.
with my coach
Yes,
Jeffrey.
it did. Yes.
That really helped out a lot.
Mhm.
Because I knew that I had to stay strong-minded and strong. So I knew no matter if I was working, I never lost the end goal in mind, which was to be free
Right.
and be an entrepreneur, right? And make a lot of money, of course, stuff like that. So let's talk about blocker number 2.
Yeah,
right.
definitely. Blocker number 2 is all about the scale of fear.
Yeah.
The scale of fear. And we're going to talk about these patterns called self-sabotage. We mentioned a little bit about this, but let's talk about how it applies to you. Okay, well, some of you. The thing is, when it comes to self-sabotaging patterns, your subconscious mind will do things. Sometimes you don't even know it's doing. Like, how about those little money limits that you've been setting on yourself? Like, okay, not this much, but just this little bit here. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I can go a little bit deeper into this, being self-sabotage, because we self-sabotage because our ego controls our outer construct of who we really are.
Ooh.
Who we really are beautiful people that aspire to have big goals, big dreams. We love to dream. We love to use our imagination. We love to be happy. We love to feel inspired, right? But unfortunately, when the ego takes over, that's nothing more than all the patterns and different learned behavior that you learned all your life the constructs, the ego of who you are today
Over the years.
over the years.
Yes.
So whenever you have an opportunity to excel and be great, the ego takes over and controls you subconsciously because it's like an automatic pilot thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's really the ego, and the ego could be like good and bad. It doesn't matter. My point is, these are automatic patterns that happen on autopilot, okay? And that will cause self-sabotage. And sometimes you don't even realize it's happening.
Yeah.
You think you're doing the right thing. In reality, you're not doing the right thing, right? Because it's
Right.
automatic, and that's what's happening. And how do you stop that, right? Let me give you a solution to that. You also have to do what we train on with our coaching program is, do a present moment check-in, right? You have to really realize that you have power in the present moment. There's no
Yes.
ego. There's no ego in the present moment.
No.
Right? All you have in the present moment is awareness. So if you have awareness, you can leave the ego at the door because it doesn't exist, right? Now, the past has something to do with the ego, and speculation of the future does as well, because we start to think in thoughts and different patterns, and we start to think about, like, oh yeah, what if this happens in the future? What if I make a lot of money? Oh my God, what if I don't make money? Or like, oh, I'm not good with money, like my family told me, money doesn't grow on trees, and the list goes on and on and on, right? So, but in the present moment, we can be aware of those thoughts and patterns, so it interrupts the ego and goes, oh my God, I got power now. What can I do right now so I could actually move away from that and focus on right now? Because what you can do right now is actually move forward to avoid that self-sabotage. Create that awareness within you.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, absolutely. And for some people, another self-sabotage pattern is when you start to see success, you kind of feel awkward and you think it's wrong.
It's a guilt. It's definitely a guilt.
Right.
Yeah.
Success is not wrong. Don't think that. But there's a lot of people that do think like that. Even I thought that before in the past. Because I was raised in a family where everybody was a pessimist. Anybody ever have family members, you live with them for so long that they're like pessimists, like everything is negative downhill.
Yeah.
Well, to see their daughter doing something like online business, it was so foreign to them, very foreign. And every single time I would make a small win and I would try to celebrate with my loved ones, literally they would just kick me down or, make it seem like it's ugly. Well, that's their pattern. That's their paradigm. My paradigm, I was trying to shift into a different, area where I wanted to believe that this was a good thing. But people who are pessimists will give you the belief instantly if you let them, right? And you start feeling victim to becoming successful. Or whenever something good happens to you, you feel it's so wrong. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's not wrong.
Yeah.
So that is a pattern. If you start seeing that all the time, now you should become more aware of that. The other thing that we see all the time is imposter syndrome starts to kick in. How many people feel like an imposter right now? Put it in the chat. Type the word imposter. If you feel like an imposter right now, that is a self-sabotage pattern right there. Let's talk about being that. An imposter, who are you comparing yourself to? Why are you worrying about what other people are thinking about you in your journey? Whether you're brand new, seasoned, veteran, took a sabbatical, was in the industry for a long time since the 90s, and now all of a sudden you come back and you're trying to level up with the other kids, right? And you're like, oh, the kids, everybody's doing something new.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about this computer stuff. I don't know anything about TikTok and Instagram. I feel so old. Stop that. You shouldn't have to feel like an imposter. Listen, being an imposter, it's a mindset, another self-sabotaging pattern. The way to break this is stop comparing your results and your journey with someone else's. They have gone further along because they already started ahead of you in the marathon, in the race. You, on the other hand, something you haven't figured out quite yet, you still have a lot to learn. You still have a lot to learn. But it doesn't mean that you go out there and you start feeling awkward or embarrassed or, ashamed. Don't be ashamed where you are. If you're a beginner, don't be ashamed to be a beginner, Being proud that you're a beginner. Do you know people today buy more products and services from beginners than they do from people who actually have it all together?
Yeah.
We've seen it. We've seen people who actually are total beginners, total newbies, zero credibility, and they still are able to make sales online as affiliate and internet marketers.
Well, because they can relate to them.
Exactly.
That's the thing, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's ourselves who, we lie to ourselves, and that's unfortunate, but that's
Yes.
what happens.
Yes.
Oh, look at that! Someone's trying to.
Now, when it comes to the other part of the pattern, let's talk about when you start to grow and you start seeing results and you start getting a little bit of success, you tend to hold yourself back. We call that pulling back when growing. Don't pull yourself back. No. Why would you do that? Why would you pull back? Because you're afraid to step on the gas pedal even harder and go full throttle, right?
Exactly.
You got to keep going. You don't go backwards, you go forwards, right? Just because you got a little bit of an inch, and it's not as fast as everybody else's, but you got a little bit of success, that's okay. That's an indicator. Like, think about your GPS, right? It lets you know your direction. You're almost there to your destination. Well, it's the same thing with your internal pilot. You have an internal pilot that's like an internal GPS, and it's telling you, here are your results. You are getting closer to the finish line. You need more. You need to keep pushing further. Think about it. Pulling back, how many Olympians do you know pull back? They don't. They go forward, right?
Well, I mean, what happens is it's like, let's say that, you've never made a sale before, right? One thing we've learned in this business is momentum is so important, okay? And the most money made as an entrepreneur is because of momentum, right? Let's look at like what just happened recently in this recent election that just went by, right? Why did someone win? Because of momentum, right? Whoever won had more momentum on their back versus the other person.
True.
Right? It's like with anything in life, when you're trying to accomplish something,
Yes.
when you're trying to achieve something, right? The momentum is key to success.
Yes.
And success, let's talk about the small wins for a second. Let's say you're just getting started. How do you build momentum? Well, you got your business set up now, right? You're starting to generate leads. You're starting to follow up now. You're starting to get people to respond to you now. You're starting to create content now.
Right.
You're starting to build momentum in your business. But unfortunately, what happens is people, they start to go and they stop, and start to go and they stop. It's kind of like a yo-yo back and forth, right? If you stay constant, okay, you would create so much more momentum long term. It's kind of like the compound effect from Darren Hardy, that book I read. I talked about, like when you invest in something, the more that you actually do little wins every single day,
Right.
start to compound into bigger wins, right? But it doesn't happen unless that momentum is built.
Right.
And it's built to the small wins, then to the medium wins, and then to the big wins. Ace and Rich has never made, I mean, the records that we've broken, the big payouts, right? They never happen without momentum,
No.
right? Like, they just don't. They don't. I mean, the stuff that we've done is always because of that massive momentum that we've created, right? That's how it works. And when you start getting momentum, the last thing you want to do is pull back.
Right.
That's like, okay, I'll give you an example. There was one, I'll tell you a story. One offer, there was a contest. We started a month later than everybody else. And we came in first place when the competition was over, right? How is that possible? How did Ace and Rich go in first place in a matter of 30 days, earn over $30,000, okay? And literally crushed it, and still came on top, number one, even after starting a month later after every other marketer in that competition.
Oh, yeah.
Because we gained so much momentum that you couldn't even stop it, even if you tried. But the biggest mistake would have been if we stopped too early. We would have never made it to the top. We could be like, oh, well, We're number 3. We're not going to make it to number 1. We might as well stop right now.
Yeah,
No!
yeah.
We kept going and going and going. And this is how we were able to earn over $30K in 30 days. And literally in a month's time. Able to go to Miami on a trip with the owner of the company and stuff like that. Right? And starting a month later from everybody else. Because of momentum. Guys, momentum is key to your success. Right? And it doesn't have to be this big thing in the beginning. It can be a small thing. But if you stay consistent, you let the momentum build up, you add more to that momentum. You add more to that momentum.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're like, whoa, look at all the stuff that's happening.
And let me tell you, the mindset, with going up against some top dogs in the industry that really got some major long lists and they've got all this credibility.
Oh, yeah.
None of that fazed us. None of that fazed us because we had each other. And I think the best part about building a business together as a couple, you do need each other, and if one is faltering, the other one will help pick the other one up when they feel down or vice versa.
Yeah.
And that's what I had. I had Rich there the whole time because I had never done anything like that before. And to jump into a competition like that so late in the game, I wasn't sure if we were going to win. But the way Rich coached me, because he is still my coach today, Rich coached me. He got my head in the game a certain way where I could stay consistent and I didn't have to worry about feeling like an imposter or feeling like these guys are better than me and, I'm never going to win. And, I didn't even think about that we're going to win. I just thought about, I had no time to think about any of that. I just had to keep going and going and track my results all the way to the end of the competition. Then I can think about all the other stuff later because we didn't realize we won. We just kept going and going and going. Yeah. And that's what happens. Even our team members started getting results because even though the competition was really about like who was the top sales, but our team members were also doing the competition too. And even though they didn't get to go to Miami with us, they still were able to get commissions high enough and high ticket with the results that we were teaching them because that's the way we roll. We taught them
how to create momentum for themselves.
We taught them how to do it themselves. Like we were like, well, we're doing this, but you guys can do it with us too. And hey, what's the worst that can happen? You just have a higher commission.
But not only that, but I think they really learned something from that journey.
Oh, they learned a lot.
Because that was a journey that they went through.
It was a journey. And now whenever a new challenge comes up or some type of a contest for an affiliate, they'll dive right in head first. They don't care. Yeah. They're like, you know what? We'll just do it. Because they have the mindset. They understand. They're already ready for it. And you should be thinking the same way too. And if your business is hitting that plateau and you feel like you need to pull back while you're growing, I would say in order to full throttle, jump into a contest. Find one in your community, in your program, or find something related in your niche that you could jump into and get uncomfortable and start doing something like a contest or a competition and test yourself, really challenge yourself. I'm telling you,
momentum is key, guys. Mm-hmm. It really is. And you know what it does? It actually forces you to think bigger. Okay? When you start to focus on creating momentum, it forces you to think bigger. Because normally you wouldn't think that way, right? You guys getting a lot of value from tonight? I mean, this is some really intense stuff we're talking about here. And we're giving it to you because we want you to have a breakthrough, all right? Every time we come out here on a live and we share knowledge and we actually share information, we share it also through the lens of our experience, right? And the way we can explain it is that going through that momentum, right, and thinking bigger, it's a different shift in mindset to really achieve something more, right? So you don't get stuck in that ceiling, or you don't get stuck like, I'm not making any sales. Okay, well, why are you not making any sales? Because you haven't really put a plan in place to actually create momentum in your business.
Yeah, okay? And then later on they come to Ace and Rich go like, why didn't I listen to you, Ace and Rich, before? Or why didn't I find you guys earlier?
Nobody's going to tell you this stuff.
No.
And all we can do is share from our experience of what we've learned along this journey.
Like, look at this.
And that, you know what? It gave us experience.
Yes.
For us, we could just create income on demand because we understand the process. We understand, the bigger thinking pattern, the way to think differently, right, to gain those results.
I like what Chris says here. He popped in on the live. Thank you, Chris. Yamuchi says, I just had that doubt creep in my mind. Thank you so much for this. I'm telling you, doubt is like a mindset killer.
It's a monster.
It's horrible. Doubt will keep you broke.
Yeah.
It will keep you broke. You got to fight that. I'm telling you, that's
Yes.
like I was talking about the demons.
It's an old paradigm shift.
It is.
But that's also your ego. You got to like do a present moment check-in and be aware of what's happening. Like right now,
Yes.
you probably had a present moment experience by actually saying that, because that means you were just aware in this present moment that was happening. And that's huge.
Yes.
That's huge.
Alistair says, I'm home, no speeding ticket, laugh out loud. Well, we appreciate the effort for you to just rush and get home so you can catch the show for Ace and Rich Live. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for doing that. Let me see over here. Oh, dear. Oh, Feng Chang says, I have to tell you that my husband just passed away yesterday. I'm only listening, okay? But I'm sad right now. Feng, we're so sorry. And our condolences for the loss of your dear beloved husband.
Yeah, sorry to hear for your loss.
Our thoughts and prayers for you, definitely. But listen, like getting back on the note here, let's talk about the third blocker, because there's the third blocker, and you talk a lot about the glass ceiling. But a lot of people say, well, what if, Ace and Rich, I work harder? What if I work really hard? Well, what do you mean by that? And hard at what?
Well, you're going to say you want to work hard because you're used to working hard at your job.
Yes.
That comes from learning. That's something you learn, right? But when you're doing this world, you have to work smarter.
You got to use your brain.
Not harder.
You got to use your brain.
If you create momentum and you're working, let's say you're working a lot, and because you're building momentum, working a lot does not mean harder. Working a lot means smarter.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Think about it, right? If you worked harder, what if your offer completely sucks? What if it's a bad system that you're involved with that you have to market? Can you outwork a bad system?
And what if you're missing automation opportunities? Right?
Yeah. What if you're not automating the process and you're doing everything manually?
Yeah.
That hurts you more. It really does.
Well, we're saying never subtract, always add.
Right. When you do things manually, you know what that does? It kills your growth. It really does. When you do things manually and you get to a certain level in your skill sets, in your business, it's time to move forward to the next level. We hear all these advertisements all the time. We see them on Facebook, social media, everywhere. And they say, let me help you. Get this course. We'll take you to the next level. What the hell do you think the next level is? It's the next level in your skill sets. That's what it is. Nobody tells you that. See, I had to learn that the hard way. When I invested into coaching mentorship, I actually had to learn that from my coach, who got hard on me and said, Ace, in order for you to take your business to the next level, you got to learn copywriting. Yeah. You got to learn how to communicate effectively with people on social media. You got to learn how to ask better questions. You got to invest into a coach to learn communication. I'm like, whoa, I didn't know I had to do all this, but you do. Right?
I want to debunk something, because this is something that's really big.
Yeah.
And what I've learned, I'm sure you learned as well, is the whole thing about time management, right?
Oh,
how you can do more in less time.
Shut up.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's just a crock of shit. I really do. And I'm going to tell you why. Because people will tell you that because they want to trick you into buying their stuff.
Yeah.
And then once you get in, you realize, like, holy crap, this is a lot of work, right?
Yes.
With building momentum for us, it was never like a short amount of time. I mean, all the hours and hours and hours we put in.
Yes.
I mean, you understand something. Over time, you can start doing less and you accomplish more. But in the beginning, it just takes so much time to build it up.
Right.
It does.
It does.
There's no way around it. Don't let anybody tell you that, well, you can get involved with this program and all you have to do is work a few hours a day and you're going to make a lot of money. You can make six figures with just working a few hours a day. Sounds like a freaking infomercial, right? It doesn't exist, right? It does not exist. Maybe for the individual who already went through years of experience to leverage and hired other people to do most of the work for them and stuff like that, right?
Like Tim Ferriss.
That's like another conversation.
Yep.
But
Definitely.
if you have not had any results and you haven't broken through a ceiling maybe you're stuck on, it's because you haven't put enough time and energy and effort into really attracting and really accepting the money that you truly deserve. I say
Yes,
accepting,
yes.
right? Because you could accept it, but if you don't do the things that are necessary to accept that money, you'll never get there.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So I want you to know, I want to debunk that, because I can't stand it when people say, you can only make, you can make this amount of money in just a few hours a day, only a few hours a week. It just doesn't exist. And
No.
from our experience, guys, it just never happened. Anytime we broken records, we put so many hours and hours and hours and hours. Okay? And it was worth it. Of course it was worth it. But it wasn't in a few hours.
No.
It was like, man, we busted our tail and we built that momentum that we just crushed it.
Yes.
That's what it was all about.
There were sacrifices that had to be made.
Oh, yeah.
There were sacrifices that had to be made. And you're in a situation right now where if you look at your business, you look at your results, and you're pretty much ticked off. You know what? You got to make some more sacrifices because you're not sacrificing enough. And the thing is, you got to look at where you are. And if you're part of a program where you have to build out a team, then look where your team is as well. And a lot of times what happens when we find out as leaders is that our team members are not doing so great. Does that mean you have to find a new team? Well, think about it. The team that you're working with right now, if they're not moving, you have to do a check-in. You, the leader, have to check in on them and find out maybe they haven't said something to you. Maybe they're going through something. Maybe they need some more one-on-one assistance. And this is where you can come in to really build that leverage to start helping out your team members. There was a saying by Zig Ziglar that says, help enough people get what they want so you can get what you want. I revisited that today when I was doing my mindset training. And you know what? It's so true. When you help enough people get what they want, you will eventually, in time, get what you want.
It goes back to what we were saying before, and I think this was done in the interview last week that we did.
With the couple from Belgium?
From Spain.
From Spain.
They're in
but
Spain
they're a
now.
Belgian couple,
Right.
but they're from Spain. Yeah.
So what happened was, what we realized is that when you start to really connect with people, all right, and you start to give back, and you treat these people like they're your own customers, right? So if you're in network marketing or you're in affiliate marketing and you're selling a product or a service, whatever it is,
Yes.
right? Understand that, yes, it's their customer because it's their product. You don't have to create the product, which is great, right? However, change your mindset to thinking, you know what? I'm going to treat these people like they're my own customer.
Yes. Yes.
Right? And lay out the red carpet and guide them along that process. Right? So they feel that they're part of something and they're not alone.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's easy for someone that's getting started to quit like that.
Easy.
because
And they will. They will.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Yeah, if you
in the past.
don't do your part and effectively follow up with a person who's probably like lost and confused and don't understand or don't have answers to their questions, and you never make contact with them, you're going to lose that customer.
Yeah.
You really are.
So, guys, we're going to go over some major solutions for you guys to really help you have like a breakthrough strategy with us, okay?
Let's do it.
And
Then we'll do Q&A.
Then we'll do Q&A, all right?
Yep.
So after what we talked about today, right, hence the auto issues, we resolved that. I want you guys to really start taking immediate actions. Even if nothing's happening, take immediate action. Nothing's ever going to be perfect in the beginning.
No.
Right? And like you said earlier, if you're doing something and you're working a lot, nothing's working out, over time, give it time, and you notice something's not going right, shift, change a little bit, tweak. That's what we talked about, right?
Yes. Or pivot.
Yeah, pivot.
Pivot.
Okay, we've had to do that several times in our
Nothing wrong with
entrepreneur
pivoting. Yes.
career, just so you know.
Yes.
And then I want you to do like an income goal reset. All right. Now, what do I mean by that? Go ahead.
Well, obviously, we're at the end of the fiscal year pretty much. And, Christmas is around the corner. Why would you want to do an income goal reset January 1st, 2025, when you should be doing it now?
Right now.
Don't wait till the ball drops and it's the new year. Do it right now. So that way you're already prepared and you're moving forward faster than the people who actually are going to start on January 1st.
Yes. Yeah.
And your income goal is, maybe you thought this far-fetched goal, like one day I'm going to make $50,000 a month. Well, you haven't even made your first 10 yet. You got to reset your clock. You got to reset that
Yes.
goal and make realistic time goals. We call them SMART goals. You have to put it as simple as you can. You got to measure it. It's got to be achievable and obtainable. It's got to be realistic in numbers, and you got to put some timing and dates on it.
And I'm gonna make you guys laugh here, but it's like having ants in your pants. Okay? Like you just can't stop moving. You can't stop thinking about it because you constantly. It's like whenever you have a goal, a desire to achieve something, attach to an inspiration that means so much to you.
Yes.
In a present moment that you're actually aware of. It's like having ants in your pants. You can't stop thinking about it. You go to sleep thinking about it. You wake up thinking about it. You go in the shower thinking about it. You go to the bathroom thinking about it. You're driving down the street thinking about it. You go to work thinking about it. It never gets out of your mind. It becomes like an obsession. All right? See, I'm telling you guys, I want you guys to get in my brain for a second. Okay? And I see a number in my mind. I see a number in my head. And all of a sudden, the plan starts coming into play. And it's like, it's go time.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's move. Let's make it happen. And it becomes so a matter of fact that you will figure it out and you will make it happen. But you must. You must want it so bad enough that you'll put as much time as necessary to learn, to do, and to teach it. Now, what do I say teach? Because when you teach it, you start learning on another level. You'll discover things that you never discovered before just by you going through the course by yourself. And now you're killing three birds with one stone. Because now you're out there, now people are going to be attracted to you because you're actually teaching something that you learned. Now you're attracting business. You guys getting this? It's powerful stuff. Don't take this lightly. This is huge.
Yes. All right, I think that's pretty much it. We should definitely take some questions now.
I think we give them a lot. Yeah, I think we give them a lot.
We have some people here. We have.
All right, guys, let's get some comments, questions. Let's do it. I love this stuff.
All right. Alistair says, had a good session with Albie last night. Got some great advice. Well, advice is great, especially when you're getting it from someone who is actually doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
They're working with great mentors, getting great, advice and direction so that they can help you while you're on their team. You're learning from who's helping them. See, that's the thing. You got to be careful with who you're working with. So if you are on a great team with great upline, great mentors, you should be good. You shouldn't be faltering on any part in the journey of your business. But if you are, that is an internal checkup. You have to make sure you go back to, why is it that I'm on the greatest team and I'm on the A team or the whatever team, the dream team?
Now, understand
things are happening.
Understand when you say upline, remember she was a former network marketer.
I was.
So she's going to say upline, so if you're in network marketing, that's upline. If you are in affiliate marketing, it's who invited you into the affiliate program. The
referring affiliate.
Yes.
That's the person.
Just to clear that up.
Yeah, thanks.
Because I know it's a habit for you because
it is.
She was a former network marketer. And
it never left.
It never left. Oh.
It never left. Okay. Anybody has any questions? Let me go check the group, Rich. Look in the chat. Look inside the Internet Marketing Pros.
All right. Let me look over here. Let's see. No, nothing yet.
No,
we're good. We're good.
Nothing here.
So remember, guys, what we talked about tonight, just really, if you have to watch the replay, this was a lot of information. I get it.
Yeah.
But I want you guys to really get something out of it. I want you guys to have a breakthrough by watching this live, or if you're watching the replay.
Yes.
We want you guys to have a great breakthrough in your business. And by us sharing these strategies with you, okay, this information that really helped us understand through our experience on how to break through those ceilings.
Yes.
Right? So you're not stuck in earning no income or earning a little bit of income. You want to earn even more income, right? These are ways that you can break through, and we give you no fluff. And what we share with you, this is what it's going to take.
And you know what I got to say is, Instead of letting fear be the mechanism that is going to hold you back, use fear as your driver, because you should be more afraid of not doing it versus fear of doing it and succeeding. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's the way you got to think, because what if you were tonight, and I'm going to share something with you really, really close to my heart. This date is December 13th. It was December 31st, 2013, on the month of December, freezing cold, snow, and sleet outside in the state of Connecticut, where we had no choice. We were in a situation that was literally a danger to our lives. We had no choice but to go to a Motel 6. Can you imagine tonight if it was December 31st, 2024, and you had no choice but your life is in danger, your family's, and you needed to go somewhere, you went to a Motel 6? Would you put a halt on your business?
I remember that.
Would you stop? Would you put your dreams to the side because your circumstances, because your situation is so bad right now?
That was on New Year's.
It was.
Yeah.
That was our New Year's.
Yeah.
And we'll never forget it.
Never.
And the one vow that we made to ourselves is never going back.
Nope.
That's what you should be proclaiming for yourselves right now, is I'm never going back. Once you hit your goal, you set another one.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hit that second goal, you hit another one. Don't wait every single year of a new year for you to make a new goal. Goals should be set, milestones, separate from each other, from big ultimate goals. There are different levels to this stuff. When you have a 30-day goal, you can have a short one as a 2-week goal. But we're talking about little results along the way, compounding over time based on the little things that you're putting into your business. But the effort has to be put into the business. Think about it. You've given your boss so much of your time. He's seen you for 12 months, 365 days a year, even probably. You worked your tail off. And the thanks that you get, a cactus and a Rolex, probably. Not even a Rolex. What do you get? A Timex? What do you call it? You get a little watch and a little cake about this small, and they celebrate your success. That's the recognition you get for putting all the stuff that you put into your job. It's time for you to take control. We are not promised tomorrow. We tell this to our students. You must make a change now. You must decide no more and no less that you're going to accept these results for your life. You decided to be an online marketer. What was the reason? Get back to that. Remember your why. Why did you do this? If you're an out-of-work teacher and you decided I was doing teaching for a reason, to help the students, did you care about your paycheck? No. You cared about helping, changing lives one person at a time. And those little minds in that classroom, you wanted to see them have a brighter future, didn't you? The future looks bright. Well, guess what? Why can't you do that for yourself?
Right on.
Yeah. Right? If you're an out-of-work nurse, you've been working in the nursing profession 10, 15, 20, 40 years. You've been taking care of other people, wiping their butts, cleaning their wounds. Now it's your turn to get your life back. It's time for you to have a change of a career, because maybe you don't want to do that no more. It's time for you to do a change for yourself, for your family. What is your reason why? Go back to that. What if you're a single mom like me from New Jersey, who actually was a single mom, no foundation whatsoever, just you, your kid, and then you don't know what's going to happen the next day. So you had to go to work or go back to school. What is your why? Because obviously it's not going to be about you, is it? It's about the baby. It's about the child.
And then I came in, my lady. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. I want to thank you so much for being here with Ace and Rich Live.
Yes.
And everybody here, thank you for being here. Thank you for your questions, your comments. We got one more comment I'm going to put up there. Let's see here. I'd like to start making money and getting results by the first of the year in 2025. I wonder what I got to do to start making money by 2025. The first of the year. Well, be realistic, right? It's coming pretty fast. What you should be thinking about is, what's going to be my strategy, okay? And am I building something? Am I learning how to engage? Mm-hmm. And am I learning how to sell?
That's right.
Those 3 pillars.
And focus
on those things.
And make sure you pay your dues. If you have coaching and mentorship classes, courses, because you don't know enough, get that taken care of. Take the classes. Show up. Make sure you make an appointment for yourself to be that student
Yes.
of the industry, and make sure you're
And
there.
speaking of appointments, guys, if you are looking to get help in your business and you have been stuck and you've been struggling and feeling overwhelmed,
Yes.
we can give you a 30-minute consult. That's right, 30 minutes. We're going to be actually putting on right here on the screen. Go to meetaceandrich.com where you could actually set your appointment and have a 30-minute consult. We could look at your business, figure out why are you stuck, why you don't have momentum, right? And why this is not working out for you, okay? So with that being said, my name is Rich Guzman.
And my name is Ace Guzman.
We are Ace and Rich, and this live is a wrap, guys. Have a great, great weekend. And I know Christmas is coming up soon.
Yes, it is.
So enjoy your holiday, guys.
See you soon.
We'll see you guys.
Thanks for coming.